And gentlemen, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody is doing great. Oh my goodness, it is great to see you. Thank you all so much for logging on and hanging out in the waiting room while we got set to get started. We're super excited to have everybody here. By way of introduction, you guys, my name is Jared Young, and I'm going to be your virtual MC for the evening. And I want to thank all of you for joining us for the Celebrating Community Campaign Kickoff. Y'all ready to do this? Let's go. Give yourself a round of applause for being here, huh? I like it. We need things to celebrate, so I am celebrating the fact that you are here with us tonight. Listen, 2020 has been quite a year, hasn't it? And I got to tell you, it just keeps giving and giving and giving. So first and foremost, on behalf of CDCLI, we hope that you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. As the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted, among many other things, helped us understand how important a safe and healthy home and community are. Now, CDCLI has never closed, and everyone has been working tirelessly to develop new programs to help our community, most notably the Rental Arrears and Eviction Prevention Program, which started in June. But hey, tonight's kickoff is the celebration of a new campaign, and I gotta tell you, I'm so excited because we've invited some very special Broadway performers to join us tonight and give us an amazing special front row seat VIP experience that I know you're all going to enjoy. It's going to be amazing. All right, y'all, you're going to hear more tonight about how you can help support healthy homes and communities for Long Islanders. And to start us off, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors to date. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get a nice round of virtual applause. There they are. There's our sponsors to date. Thank you all so much. The very, very important work of CDCLI, it would not be possible without all of you and your support. So ladies and gentlemen, take a look. We are so very grateful for all the logos that you are seeing right there. Now, as I stated before, tonight is our campaign kickoff, and y'all, there is still time to see your name added to that list. At the end of today's show, we'll pop up a website where you can go to help. So make sure you've got a pen and paper handy. And speaking of sponsors, let's start off by hearing a word from one of tonight's gold sponsors, our friends at Bethpage Federal Credit Union.
Bethpage Federal Credit Union is proud to support the important work of CDCLI through financial grants and volunteerism. For the last decade, our teammates partnered with CDCLI to offer budget and credit education as a part of their home ownership programs. Our teammates also volunteer for home beautification projects. We wish you a successful virtual event and look forward to continuing our partnership into the future. Thank you for everything you do for Long Island.
Love it. Love it. Way to go, Bethpage. Thank you all. Thank you for the message, and thank you for being one of our gold sponsors. You know the CDCLI mission, it can't proceed without your assistance. And now I want to hear from our friends over at Conifer, one of our other gold sponsors who gave us a helping hand towards our goal.
On behalf of all of us here at Conifer, we are thankful for the opportunity to support CDCLI and its mission, and wish you many more years of success. Throughout our nearly 20-year history together, we have developed over 900 high-quality, affordable homes together as we get ready to start construction on our newest community at Port Jefferson Station. We look forward to continuing our partnership to provide much-needed, affordable housing for many years to come.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Conifer. And you guys, we have a third sponsor tonight. It's the Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk. and we are so grateful to their partnership and also want to recognize all the good work that they do to help us achieve our goals. So thank you, Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. We certainly can't do what we do without the support from all of our sponsors. We're so thankful for all of you. And now, I want to kick off tonight's event officially. Let's welcome our board chair, Jim Coughlin. Let me tell you a little bit about Jim in case you don't know Jim very well. Jim's a lifelong Long Islander, and Jim understands the tremendous benefits of living on Long Island and how best to help our residents thrive. He's a leader in the real estate development space as principal of TriTech Real Estate, which he founded with his brother in 1986. He's a graduate of Brown University, and Jim is actively involved with a number of charitable and not-for-profit organizations that strengthen the quality of life on Long Island and all along the East Coast. We are so fortunate to have Jim's expertise and passion at the core of CDCLI's mission. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a word from Jim Coughlin.
Hi, I'm Jim Coughlin, Chairman of the Board of Community Development Corporation of Long Island and Principal of TriTech Real Estate Company. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you who are on this call and on the Zoom event tonight. If you're taking part in this event, you're one of the people that allows CDCLI to do all the great things that it does every day. I want to start with a particular thank you to our sponsors. We have Engel Berman Group, Wells Fargo, Bethpage Federal, Conifer Realty, Capital One, Advantage Title, M&T Bank, BNB Bank, and People's Bank. Thank you guys so much for giving CDC the resources that it needs to carry out its mission. We really, really appreciate you participating tonight. I've been lucky enough to be on this board for a little over 20 years, and I've been chairman for, I think it's 11. So I've seen CDC grow. I've watched it go through a lot of different economic cycles, a lot of different challenges, including the 9/11 terrorism, the Superstorm Sandy relief effort, now a global pandemic, and of course the global financial crisis that we went through. But CDC has a core competency. It's got amazingly agile professionals who react to the changing environments and still deliver on the programs, create new programs, find new stakeholders, and continue to serve Long Islanders in an incredible way. I congratulate Gwen. I congratulate the entire executive management group, all the staff at CDCLI. I thank my fellow board members. And again, I thank each and every one of you for allowing CDC to go out and make Long Island a better place. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you so much, Jim. Great to hear from you, and thanks for all that you do, Jim. Now, as Jim noted, he was talking about Gwen O'Shea, and I'm going to bring Gwen on here in just a second, but it's hard to believe that it's been almost 4 years since Gwen O'Shea took over the role of CDCLI's president and CEO. But you might not have known this, she's been a part of the organization's path since 2013 when she was a member on our board. Now, for many years, she's been raising awareness about the needs of Long Island's residents and addressing their concerns by bringing together experts, policymakers, advocates, and service providers to help at-risk Long Islanders. And a little more about her interview for that ever so important day when she went from a board member and moved into president and the CEO position. It was on the Wednesday morning after the last U.S. presidential election. It was on November 8th, 2016. And as the nation started to transition, Gwen powered through her transition into her new role and walked into that interview room and took her new position by storm. And of course, Gwen, you're sort of weathering a storm of a different kind at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, rest assured that even though she's got a great foundation here at CDCLI, she still needs all of our help. Isn't that right, Gwen? Come on in here.
Thank you, Jared, and thank you all for being here today with us. Gosh, I would much prefer for us all to be together in person, to have our annual get together and see each other and catch up and celebrate the tremendous work that CDCLI has done over the past year, because it's all part of a broader community and group effort. But we at CDCLI, like you, all of you at home or wherever you may be watching from, are doing your part to be a good community partner and make sure that we can collectively make our way through this pandemic sooner rather than later, ensuring that we all, as many of us as possible, can stay healthy and come out of this in perhaps a better place than we are now. So thank you, Jared, and thank all of you for being here tonight. I want to take a minute to thank Jim CLI, which is just a stellar group of individuals that come from a cross section of different areas and expertise, have been working together. And here's, just a snapshot of the tremendous board that we have really helping CDCLI continue to move forward. They came together at the beginning of this pandemic and talked about what our response would be. And one of the first things that they focused on was, given the solid financial foundation of the organization, coupled with our mission to be a good community partner and support residents and individuals and keep all of our team members employed, covered with health insurance. And since that day back in March, which seems like, geez, so long ago, we have been open. We are an essential organization with a waiver given to us by the governor's office. And the board has just done a tremendous job supporting our team and our organization as we've gone remote pretty much since the onset, really allowing us, ensuring that we can support the community members and the residents that are dependent on us to help them navigate their housing and their financial needs on a daily basis. And as Jim noted, this organization in our 51 years has weathered and faced many different types of crises and disasters, such as 9/11, such as Hurricane Sandy, the financial crisis that we faced in 2007, and now the crisis that we face with the COVID-19 pandemic. And what has stood true through all of those events, probably more so now than ever, is the commitment of the CDCLI leadership team, with, of course, the support of the board, with the leadership team working together on a daily basis to really step in and step up to think about how we can innovatively support the needs of our communities, recognizing that we're not out of this yet. And so we have a tremendous leadership team, from Billy to Jean Marie, Luce, Rachel, and Kim, that spend their Tuesdays and Thursdays together talking about what we're currently addressing and the goals we're currently trying to achieve, but also how we can do more and how we can do better, recognizing that 45% of Long Islanders are struggling right now to pay their rent or to pay their mortgage. And none of us know when that's going to come to an end. And so it's been our charge, as we've been thinking through this, how we can, again, provide the supports that are necessary in both the short, the long term, and the longer term future. So tonight, we're so pleased that you're joining us to hear a little bit more about our rent arrears program that we have started to put together as a way to disease. And while we're responding to what is happening as the impact of COVID continues to hit all of our communities on Long Island, we're also thinking about and have continued to move forward with many of the programs we unveiled at our 50th anniversary event. And one of the things that stands out about that event, it was right after Newsday broke their investigative story about the discriminatory practices that were happening in the real estate market on Long Island. And unfortunately, a lot of people weren't surprised about that. A lot of people were well aware of the history of racism and segregation and the lack of opportunities for communities of color on Long Island. And CDCLI came out of the civil rights movement and was started to address many of those challenges. And while we are far from celebrating the successes in addressing those challenges, we continue to think about how we can assist in moving the needle in that space. And so this year, one of the programs that we kicked off even in the midst of COVID, is the mobility program, which provides a program to receive additional financial support, coaching support, to think about communities that perhaps previously have been out of reach because of the financial cost to access housing in those areas, but are clearly an area of interest because they're seen as opportunity areas with low poverty rates, with greater performing school districts, high performing school districts, access to public transportation and jobs, and an overall higher area median income. So our team has been working to provide access to that program, along with all the other programs that we continue to stay committed to, our rental assistance program, our resident services, and other home improvement and optimization programs that we continue to meet the needs in the right way by being safe and providing the appropriate COVID preventative methods that ensure that we're supporting individuals while also protecting the safety of them and their households as well. And so we want to take a moment, while we can't be together today, to hug each other and to celebrate and to see each other in person. We do want to ask you to indulge us for a few minutes in a video that takes a look at some of the things we were able to accomplish since we were last together in December and celebrate our 50th anniversary. So if you don't mind, it's just a few minutes. We shaved it back. It was actually about 85 minutes. I'm just kidding. But it is just about a 3-minute video that we want to highlight, like I said, some of the great things that happened pre-COVID and even during, as a way to demonstrate how we as partners, you and CDCLI, continue to support communities across Long Island.
That's great. Thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you for your words. Thank you for sharing that video with everybody. And guys, just look at that. Look at all of the impact that all of you who support CDCLI are making in the community. It's just incredible. And it hasn't stopped. CDCLI has weathered so many different kinds of crises, as Gwen said. I think that's the plural, Gwen. I think we both got it right. And we are just so excited to kick off this campaign because tonight, as we kick this off, we want to support and inspire all of you who are with us tonight and remind everyone of the importance of community, of family, of home, and all the things that inspire us. And there's nothing that's going to get us in that mood sooner than having a little live music. So I hope you are ready for some fun, and I hope you are ready for a very special treat. We are thrilled to have two cast members join us from the Tony Award-winning show, Dear Evan Hansen. For the handful of you that haven't seen it, it's about a teenager with social anxiety whose therapist recommends that he writes letters to himself detailing what is good about his days. And while his mother suggests that he ask people to sign a cast that he has on his recently broken arm. And Evan attempts to find the acceptance and love on his journey to be found as a person. Now, so many New Yorkers we're all missing the things that we enjoyed before COVID. We miss going to a show. We miss sitting in those tiny seats right next to each other. We miss adding another playbill or another torn ticket to our collection. But hey, we are all doing what we can to protect our community's health while getting through this epidemic together. So we thought we'd bring a little magic to all of our Long Island friends, and we thought the best thing to do is, since we can't all go take in a show together, we would bring some of the best of Broadway to you live and in person and directly into the safety and warmth of your own home. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, allow me to introduce our two guests. I'll say hi to them real quick, and then we'll get the show going. But first off, I'll introduce Gabrielle Karuba. Gabrielle made her Broadway debut in Dear Evan Hansen in the leading role of Zoe Murphy directly after graduating from the Boston Conservancy, which I guess is why you got to have a game plan, right? Gabby, you're like, I think I'll graduate and then go on Broadway. Good work. Boy, you got to write your goals down. He's also been in many regional theater performances, including performances at the American Repertory Theater, the North Shore Music Theater, and the Goodspeed Opera House. I'm going to say hi to Gabby real quick. Hi, Gabby.
Oh, is my mic on? Yes.
You got it. You're good. Lovely to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such an incredible organization that stands with everything I believe in, with community outreach and community building. So it's really, I'm so honored to be here tonight.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Gabby, for your kind words, and thanks for your time. Now, I'm also going to introduce our second performer. His name is Stephen Christopher Anthony, and Stephen currently stars as Evan Hansen in the first national tour of Dear Evan Hansen after understudying the role on Broadway. Now, previously, he's been seen in The Book of Mormon on Broadway and as Frank Abagnale Jr. in the national tour of Catch Me If You Can. Well, check it out. We caught him. And we've got him here tonight. It's my pleasure. Stephen, hello, Stephen. Thank you for calling in. How are you?
Hi, can you see me?
We got you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's like Gabby said, it's a pleasure to be here, talking to real people and not sitting on my couch.
That's exactly right. It's got to be so strange and different for you guys. So we're happy to give you a chance to show off your stuff and actually sing for some people. So that's great. Thank you for your time. I want to introduce our third guest. We have a Long Islander here with us. He's our Broadway insider. Actually grew up on Long Island and is here on Long Island right now. His name is Corey Steinfast, and he knows more about Broadway than probably I could ever learn in my lifetime. So we've invited him here to talk to our two stars as well and to give us a little insight into what it's really like to be a Broadway actor and a Broadway star. And don't worry. We want to hear from him. We're going to ask him some questions, and then we're going to have him sing to us. So Corey, thank you for joining us. I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jared. Hi, everyone. As he said, my name is Corey, and I will be your host for the next part of the evening. Again, so honored and excited to be here. As a lifelong Long Islander, grew up on Long Island, went to high school here, currently here as we speak out in Huntington. So happy to be a part of this evening. So we're going to kind of jump right into things. Gabrielle and Stephen, thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys can just give a quick kind of introduction, tell us a little bit more about yourselves, the roles that you play, where you've played it, how long. Let's cover all of those bases first. Gabby, do you want to start us off?
Sure. I'm here. I started off in the show as an understudy. So I basically covered both the roles of Zoe and Alana, which are the only two young characters in the show. And I made my Broadway debut as Alana, which is the role that I don't play now, obviously. But that happened. And a year after being an understudy, I finally got to take over the role in July, and I've been in the role ever since. And I mean, a little bit about me is I have a cat. She's really cute, and I love to get involved in my community. Like I'm volunteering with the Upper Manhattan Mutual Aid around here, so we're doing a lot of volunteer work, which is like delivering goods to people's homes who can't make trips, or providing some sort of help that we can. But that's I don't know.
Great.
I hope that's good enough.
Definitely.
And I'm Steven. I am from Miami, Florida, born and raised. I went to school at Florida State University. I toured for a year with Catch Me If You Can, moved to New York. I was very, very lucky. I got Book of Mormon right away. And I was in Book of Mormon for 4 years, which was absolutely crazy. It's the longest I've ever done any production. But it allowed me to do a lot of workshopping stuff, other things during the day. Anyway, I started Dear Evan Hansen about 2 years ago after a back injury where I was leaving the theater. I was fully quitting. I was going back to school, and then my agents called and they were like, "Do you want to go on tour with Evan Hansen?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, of course I do." So I started my Evan Hansen journey kind of at a crossroads, and I'm so glad that it happened. I feel like the most important thing about doing Evan Hansen to me has been that it's a show that doesn't have a lot of pretense. No one's pretending that life is perfect all the time. We get to talk about things the way they really are and talk about tough things that I think really help people. So the show came to me kind of at a moment where I really needed a purpose in the theater, and a sense of why am I doing this? How am I helping people? And with the quarantine shutdown right now, I am working on a degree in political science. Big move. I don't know what inspired me to do the most stressful thing during quarantine, but that's what I'm doing, and playing with my little new puppy every day.
Unbelievable. Well, before we get into more questions, Stephen, do you want to kind of start us off with a song?
Absolutely. You guys, it's been about 6 months since I've sung live for people. Thank you. Thank you for this, for being here.
Do you want to give us some context about the song, Stephen, and then we'll jump right in?
Sure. Well, at this point in the show, I don't want to, give too much away. Evan has found himself in a school assembly, and he's trying to. They've lost a friend of theirs at school to suicide, and he is trying to make everybody feel a little bit less alone by letting them know what he's been going through, only by being honest about, my own struggle and my own pain and how difficult the day-to-day can be. Can I help somebody else feel a little bit more seen? I think that's what Evan's trying to do here.
Amazing. Take it away.
All right. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. 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 You will be found.
I'm clapping on behalf of everyone who cannot see, you cannot hear. Incredible. Thank you, Stephen. So,
Yes.
So I guess we're focusing tonight's conversation on the ideas of community support and the idea of home and family. So can you guys talk about that a little bit more in the context of the show itself, in your own relationships with people that you made through the show, how you connected with fans? I think all of these themes tie really well into both the show and some of the experiences that you guys have had around with it. So, if either of you want to jump right in.
Yeah, I mean, everything that you guys are doing, I think, with this organization is so central. I mean, I think part of what I think has been great for me to see over the last 6 months or so is that mental health has been a part of the conversation. People have been talking about how, I mean, maybe not enough, but talking about how quarantine is affecting, people's sense of security. I mean, with unemployment, with, lack of stability, lack of, knowing that you have a roof over your head or where your job is going to come from, your next job is going to come from. Mental health is obviously tied up in all of those things. And I think I would be doing a disservice to the whole central part of our show to not say that, it's been really hard for me. I really struggled with, making major decisions, where am I going to live? Am I going to go back and live with my family? And I think that's central to Evan too. Evan has a hard time opening up and finding himself in the world, because he doesn't feel secure. He doesn't have the stability of someone to lean on. And so I think it's been great to talk openly about how hard this has been for everybody to kind of be in a collective boat. Everybody's in a different boat. But to open up during this time.
Absolutely. I completely agree with everything that Stephen just said. I mean, it's been really hard for me too, living moment to moment, deciding, making big decisions, just kind of hoping everything works out. I mean, the show itself too is about connection and lack thereof, and being when you need a friend to carry you. I always get like weird about quoting the show because I'm like, oh yeah, you'll be found. But like, really, it's true. That song says so much about, the need to connect and not being afraid to ask for help and not being afraid to, say, hey, I can't do, I need something. I need you to tell me, I don't want to be a burden, but, that's why this organization is a reminder of community and not being afraid to ask for help, because there are people ready, willing, and prepared to help. It's just taking that first step to, ask for it. And I think that the show ties into this so perfectly, because it, is such a pleasant reminder that, you're not alone. Even in a pandemic, there are people willing and ready to come to your need at any time.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. So let's talk a little bit more about the rehearsal process for this show. It's an intense show. A lot happens. They cover a lot of material. It's deep. So kind of, can you guys talk about your experiences, even, working with the national tour where you're traveling all around the country? I definitely want to talk about the response to the show all around. Must be fascinating. But if you guys could talk a little bit more about what it was like putting it together, and how you dealt with some of those more serious, difficult topics.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's funny because we haven't done the show together, but I feel like our experiences are really similar, like in the sense of dealing with such, I don't want to speak for you, obviously, Stephen, but like dealing with such serious subject matter. We're kind of trained before we join to kind of deal with, the heavy emotional response that we get from the fans at the stage door or write to us on Instagram or social media in general, how to kind of approach that and how to protect ourselves too. At the end of the day, the show is so heavy, but I know that we make a conscious effort to bring light as much as we can backstage, on and off, reminders that we're actors putting on a play, and we're, it's okay to take a minute to be quiet and cool down. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, so I joined the Broadway company very, very quickly. As I was getting ready to go on the national tour, they needed someone for a brief period for like a quick vacation coverage. So I had about 3 to 4 weeks to learn the show. And one of the really, really cool, unique things about Evan Hansen is like a lot of times when you come into a machine that's already working, a show that's already going, it can be very prescriptive. You have to do it the way that it's been done before. And I was really, really encouraged to find my own Evan, to make it incredibly personal, which is, you don't get that opportunity very much in theater. A lot of times you are trying to just fill a spot. And so it became a show about Stephen, about what I've been through. Like the directors did a really, really good job of like talking to me about how I relate. The kind of crazy like mental gymnastics of it all, though, is that you're going on stage to run a marathon and sing 15 songs for 3 hours while you have a mental breakdown. So you have to walk out on stage with total confidence and total belief that you're going to deliver it. And then for 3 hours, you tell yourself, I can't do it. No one's there for me. I have no support system. You're all alone. And the better job you do of believing that, the better the show is. And then the crazy thing about tour is that you actually walk out of your job and you go home to your hotel room. You really don't have your support system all around you. So for me, I mean, I stayed in therapy on the road. I talked to a therapist at least once a week just to kind of decompress you know, I think I got a little too close to letting myself actually believe this or that really dark thing about myself on stage this week. And like Gabby said, that the backstage atmosphere is, I think, a huge part of it. Everyone knows we're doing a very emotional, difficult thing on the stage. So we make backstage just like really loving, really sweet. Everybody's incredibly supportive and creating that family environment.
While we're on the topic of tour, Stephen, can you talk a little bit more about the response around the country? Because I can't imagine the response in New York City doing it on Broadway is very different than going to San Antonio or going to Kansas City or San Diego. So kind of what were your feelings as you kind of hit all of these variety of spots? How are people responding to the show and the message of it?
What's been really amazing, and I've toured with other shows that had very different responses in different cities, and this is just a special thing that I think is universal. Everybody's reaching out. Everybody wants to feel that somebody understands them, that somebody's advocating for them, standing up for them, and I think that just speaks to everybody. What's different in every city is like, this show is very entrenched in the now. It's very like the way people talk to each other today. And so like, it was funny to see from city to city, like jokes landed differently, or like at one point, one of the characters says something about Portland. So of course, when we were in Portland, you say the word Portland and the whole audience screamed and cheered or whatever. So that was very fun, but you're bringing this really, really special thing that really touches people's hearts to people who have not gotten to come to New York and see it yet. So it's not like you're giving them something brand new. You're bringing them this show that they already know every word to, that they've been waiting years, some of these fans of the show to see. And so that's never lost on me. You know, people come backstage. I mean, I've had moments where audience members are crying in my arms after the show because they're sharing something very special that they went through, that they relate to, and that always comes back out with me into the next show. It just makes it that much more special.
So we're talking about community in the sense of social media. So social media plays a massive part of this show. How did you guys kind of, I guess, what did you think about going into the process in social media and the way you guys are presenting yourselves as actors, as human beings? I mean, there are so many nuances to that side. That sense of community, did that change for you as time went on with the show?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the fans of this show are fans of this show. They are fans of us individually. They remember our birthday. They care so deeply about us. They'll see us specifically in the show as many times as they can because they just care, because the show is it touches people in such a way. Like, I remember when I watched the show, people were standing in the back watching and just sobbing and like over the ledge, like so moved. And it's such a visceral thing to be a part of that and be like, now being on the stage and, being one of the reasons that somebody has such a cathartic experience. But for social media, we are very accessible now. I'm not used to like anyone caring what I have to say on social media. Now somebody can reach out to me and say, thank you so much for saying that. I really needed to hear that. That makes me feel like if you can be on Broadway and say this, then like I can confront something and say this too. And that's like a responsibility that I'm more than thankful to have, because if I can make an impact in that way, I mean, the show kind of shows the not so nice part of social media, but it also exposes it in a way that needs to be talked about, especially now, especially when we're all kind of virtual, when we're all looking to connect, and people feel like social media is the only way that they can. So it's very integral in the story, and especially now in our lives of being like an actor person existing in this time.
Was something now?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Gabby, do you want to sing us a little something now?
Sure, I would love to. I'll do. This is a song from the show. It's normally a duet. I think it's one of the most beautiful moments in the show, and it's, as Gabby, my favorite moment in the show because one, I get to like walk around on stage for the first time in the whole show because Zoe kind of sits the whole time, which is really nice, which is, but it's been done into a really beautiful, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. I hope it all works out with the tech and stuff. I don't need you to sell me on reasons to want you. I don't need you to search for the proof that I should. You don't have to convince me. You don't have to be scared you're not enough. 'Cause what we've got going is good. I don't need more reminders of all that's been broken. I don't need you to fix what I'd rather forget. Clear the slate and start over. Try to quiet the noises in your head. We can't compete with all that. So what if it's us? What if it's us and only us? And what came before won't count anymore or matter. Can we try that? What if it's you? And what if it's me? And what if that's all that we need it to be? And the rest of the world falls away. What do you say? It's not so impossible. Nobody else but the two of us here. 'Cause you're saying it's possible. We can just watch the whole world disappear till you're the only one I still know how to see. It's just you and me, it'll be us and only us. And what came before won't count anymore. We can try that, you and me. That's all that we need it to be. And the rest of the world falls away. And the rest of the world falls away. The world falls away. The world falls away. And it's only us.
Yay!
Bravo, bravo, beautiful, beautiful, Gabby. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are almost at our time, but I wanted to ask you guys more about this crazy quarantine time. Obviously Broadway is closed. Broadway League recently announced that we're not going to get to reopen again until May right now, and who knows if that'll be the case. So what have you guys been doing? Obviously, other than keeping active, I mean, Stephen, the fact that you're doing it on degree is absolutely insane. I mean, it's incredible, really incredible. So what are you guys doing in a sense of community to kind of keep yourselves together and sane with your castmates, with your friends, family, whatever it might be?
Yeah, it's been very hard. My family's doing every birthday, every event, every occasion we get on the Zoom call and everybody just screams over each other. We should have you MC our family Zoom calls, honestly. So we're doing that, and my boyfriend and I just moved back to New York. We're just crossing our fingers at this point that we can be here for a while and hopefully be here long enough for jobs to come back. If not, thankfully we have some place to go back to if we have to go back to my family in Miami. But the great thing about being here is that we live right next to the park. So we have been, inviting all of our friends up to walk the dog through the park. We have an 8-month-old puppy that we got during one of those pandemic puppies. There's a lot of them in our neighborhood. Trying to just see people outside as much as we can. It's been hard. It's been 2 of us in one house with not much to do for 8 months. We're, trying to stay sane. But we're doing our best.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. I feel like, my boyfriend too, he was also in the show, so thankfully we can, reminisce on the memories. We're like, oh, remember that when we were on stage together? That was cute. I feel like this time has been such a test to us creatives, because we've invested so much of our time and, money into this business, into getting to achieve our dream. And for me, all I wanted was to do this, and I finally got to do it, and it got unfortunately cut short. So, it's been hard to kind of reevaluate and be like, okay, what else do I love? What else is giving me passion during this time? I've been knitting sweaters. That's been really fun. I've been trying to write and make as much as I can with my friends. I got a camera, so I've been just like making little movies. Anything, it makes this time less depressing and less, it's like one day at a time. Okay, what can I do today to feel like I did something instead of, be sad? But, obviously you're allowed to, I have days where I'm sad. I'm in therapy too, so we're human beings. There's this, we may be actors on Broadway who can be, digested from an audience, but we have feelings, and this is really hard for us too. So, all the sympathy and empathy people can find for actors and creatives in this time is so appreciated.
Amen to that. Well, guys, that is all the time that we have for this evening. Gabby, Stephen, thank you both so incredibly much for your time and your talent and your willingness to talk about yourselves. You guys are absolutely unbelievable.
Thank you so much for this. Again, like having the opportunity to sing for people has been so cool.
Yes. Tell all your friends.
Yeah. We'll come back.
And with that, I will pass it back to Jared.
Awesome. Thank you, Corey. Oh my goodness, y'all. How special was that? Stephen and Gabby. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming into our homes and coming into our devices. Share your talents and share your immense gifts. My goodness, you both sound like angels. That was truly amazing. And I don't know what you guys at home were thinking, but if you were like me, you were thinking, wait a minute, they're sitting down. I don't think we gave them a warm up. They're singing like that, just like they're like doing the dishes. It's amazing. So you guys, so talented. I'm inspired. I love it. And that is exactly why we wanted to do this tonight and present tonight's campaign kickoff in this way, because that's what tonight's about. It's about kicking off our new campaign. So everybody give them a nice round of virtual applause. Once again, Corey, thank you for moderating. Thank you for asking them the questions. And Gabby and Stephen, thank you again for sharing. I'm going to bring Gwen back on here in just a minute, but you guys, we're just so grateful to all of you that have taken the time to join us tonight. And we got to see the impact that CDCLI has been having even since the COVID pandemic started. And we're so excited that you are interested in being a part of what's going on and being a part of creating a safer and healthier community with us. So thanks again, Corey, Gabby, and Stephen, just amazing. And with that, Gwen, I'd love to turn it over to you for some final thoughts, please.
Thank you, Jared. Oh my God. And thank you to Corey and Gabrielle and to Stephen. Amazing, amazing performance. Much connects what they shared, what they sung, what they said connects with this campaign. You know, they use language like home, trust, compassion, and that's what we at CDCLI are committed to providing through this rent arrears program. You know, they shared, which I think we could all relate to, is the challenges that COVID-19 is having on all of us, and from a mental health and a behavioral health way, whether it's dealing with our kids at home, whether it's being in too tight of a space, whether it may be. However, for all of us, I think on this call and part of our team, what we can all share as a commonality is that home is stable and home is a foundation. And while we're challenged, the idea of the fact that we may lose our home is not something we're facing on a daily basis. And we know that almost half of our neighbors and our residents on Long Island are dealing with the fact that they don't know if they're going to be able to pay this month's rent. And we have a commitment, it's part of our mission, and we're here standing up a program to help support, to help alleviate that struggle that we know, whether it's our school district's bus driver, whether it's the home health aide that's supporting our parent or our grandparent that's in a nursing home, whether the community that either has had to downsize or unfortunately close. Everyone deserves to know and feel the safety of a home. And so we ask you to join us in providing that safety to all of our community members and our residents. And we know many programs have stood up already. We know that government entities have started to provide some support, and philanthropic entities have provided some support. But the impact of this disaster is greater than any one party, whether that's private or public funding. And so we ask you to join us in supporting our communities, whatever your contribution can be, $5 to $500. And we're so grateful to the sponsorships that have come forward already and the partners that have put funds forward already. But we ask you to join the campaign tonight. For the info that can support this, you can log on to our website to get additional information. But we're in this together, and we're in this for the long haul, and CDCLI is committed, as it has been for the past 5 decades, to secure, protect, and create stable homes for every single one of our community members. And so I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I want to thank our amazing cast, and I want to wish you and your families safety and health throughout this process until we get out on the other end, and wish you all the happiest of holidays as we get ready to embark on a very different holiday season. But thank you for being with us, and thank you for your support. Now I want to turn it back to Jared to maybe fill in any spots that I have forgotten to share.
No, Gwen, you did great. You did great. Thank you so much. Thank you for your leadership. And you know what? Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. And remember, y'all, we are rocking this campaign until the end of the year. So this is our kickoff, and it's going to be going to the end of the year. And we invite you and we ask you to please help support your community. We can't wait to have your support as we move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.